guys, how have you all been? Welcome back to my channel. This is Mansi from Readers and Creators. Just tiny thing to get your sympathy and support. I'm not shooting this video on a tripod. I'm shooting this on a monopod. And I took good 10 to 15 minutes to set this up because like monopod, there was no support and I literally put that in between the bars of chair and I'm shooting this video. So much dedication and efforts, I think. Just subscribe my channel and press the bell icon in the side. Okay, so today's video is about top 10 fictional characters from my list of books, obviously. Well, I will tell you why these are my favorite fictional characters, how they have impacted me, how they have changed me as a person, what change they brought in my life, and etc. So let's just begin. First one is, yes, the most important, Jane Eyre from Charlotte Bronte. And Jane Eyre, from where should I start? She is like a emancipated figure. Her character, that book is a classic, Jane Eyre. And classic books are like, they teach you so much manner and elegance and everything is so poised in that, right? And the writing structure is also so you can say typical, and the lines have like hidden meanings, like million of meanings in a single line. So that in itself was a big thing, that book. And her character, Jane Eyre, seriously, like I knew what love was. I knew what we have to do in love. We are always told what love is. We try to read many definitions by many people. We try to get their opinions about love, what love is. And Jane Eyre's character taught me what love is not. Like, she is a stimulus which made me believe about that we don't have to dedicate ourselves completely in love. We are not bound by some universal thing to to be hostage of the person we love. We can always have a choice of our own, an individual identity, and our self-respect and dignity comes much before the love we have for other person. So Jane Eyre, seriously, she is an inspirational character, and I have learned a lot from her. A lot. She was a governess in this book, and she fell in love with the owner of house in which she was a governor, and he was much older than her, and their bond was good. Like, you won't feel any awkwardness or weirdness between a 20-year younger girl and a man having relationship. But that single incident which turned the story of whole book and which turned the character of Jane Eyre and everything, like, I loved her. I seriously loved her. Next is obviously Mr. Darcy from Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. Who don't love Mr. Darcy? He is like the epitome of lover. What a lover should be. Oh my god, I am just thinking about him and my heart beats racing. I don't know how fictional characters have that effect on us. Like, seriously, they are fictional. But yes, Mr. Darcy, oh, the best lover people. Oh, I'm seriously envious of Elizabeth in Pride and Prejudice because she got him, because they got married. Oh, bad thing, I know. Mr. Darcy is elegant, gentleman, generous, full of manners, and her first impression on Elizabeth was not so nice. Seriously, not so nice. He was like arrogant and rude and introverted person who said bad things about different people. And how the things ended, and why I love him so much, because yeah, he is a lover who was right beside Elizabeth all the time and also gave her the distance from himself, like her own space, which we talk about in this 21st century, that was in that classic of 17th century. And it was really great, and somehow deep in my heart I believe that people like Mr. Darcy exist in outer world, and they might like clash with me. So there's a hope. Next is Tetsuya Ishigami from The Devotion of Suspect X by Kigo Higashino. This is a thriller book and there's a murder mystery and all that. But why I love Ishigami is he's a devoted lover, And he might seem psycho sometimes. Seriously, he might seem psycho sometimes because of his devotion towards his love. But in the end, when you finish the book, you will be like, how can a person go beyond those limits to just prove his love for her? Like, oh my god, you will be amazed and you will be like, why? That both thing. I had both emotions, and I still am like, he's seriously the best lover and he is like psycho. So, but I love him. I was influenced by his character and I was so intrigued by his character. So, he's in my list. Next is obviously Ove from A Man Called Ove by Frederick Backman. A Man Called Ove was my favorite read of 2020, and Ove, oh my god, he is grumpy, rude, introvert, and yet kind, generous, loving. The book starts off with him being an annoying, rude old man, and the time you finish the novel, he's like some guardian angel, and you will fall in love with him. It's so easy, seriously, it's so easy, and I challenge you to just dislike Ove. Seriously, I am challenging you. Go read that book and dislike Ove if you can. Like, he does all the rude and annoying thing and say bad things and hurt people by his words, and still he is there for them. He helped them, he loved them, he showed his generosity, and in the end he dash. I won't spoil. Next is Augustus Waters from The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. Augustus Waters is what we can say best companion, funny, humorous, and he is ungrudging. He don't hold any grudges against anyone, and he is free. I don't like him so much for his love for the protagonist, that girl Hazel Grace, but I like him for his individual identity. Like, his cancer came out after the first half of book, and he was literally that figure, that personality. He was having that personality from the beginning, where you are like so intrigued by the character from the very beginning. He came and he's so fun, so loud, so clear, so free, so careless and everything, and you can't help yourself but fall in love with him. So he's that type of character. Next is Jo from Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. And I love Jo so much because she resembles with my personality too. And it's an obvious thing when you can relate any character with your own life or any person in your real life. It just have different influence in your life, right? Jo is turbulent, passionate, free, wild, and sometimes even reckless. But she loves her family. She's an obedient daughter, loving sister, and best friend. And her passion for like work, for getting her own opinion, for doing something which is like breaking the stereotype in which that story is set in that era. It was a classic, Little Woman, obviously, and marriage and being elegant and doing all the right things, walking with a manner, talking with manner, and no knitting, cooking and all that for a woman in that era. And she does all the things opposite that. She don't care about what she wears. She walk like a tomboy and she goes out, she run in roads and everything. But you couldn't help but fall in love with her. She is empowering, and even in this century, if we read that book, every single character from that book, Little Woman, her mother, and all the four sisters, every single character has different characteristic, and every single character has a power to influence you. And I got most empowered by Jo March. Next is Jack from Room by Emma Donoghue. Jack is a 4-year-old kid who is stuck in a room with her mother, and this book is seriously brilliant. I read in beginning of my Bookstagram grammar account, and I think I might post something about it now. And yeah, Jack is insightful. The book is a narration from his side, and he is insightful. Being a 4-year-old kid, he has thoughts like a grown up, and that all because he was born in a room. He lived in that room. There was this bed, there was this bathroom, there was this kitchen, and they both, mother and her son, they both spent 4 years in that. Her mother, who was kidnapped and held as a hostage in that room, but he was born there, and he spent his 4 years in that room. Like, seriously, because when they came out, there was all this test and checkup from doctors, because he has never even came out and saw clouds and trees and everything. And when there was this incident when her mother instructed him to run off and get free and all that, and he was freezed for a moment because he was seeing trees and clouds and street and road and everything for the first time in his life. And he was amazed that, oh my god, this is world. I just know that room was a world. So I love Jack, and yes, his life and his story was unfortunate, but the way the narration goes on and the way it was done from Jack's side, seriously, it's insightful, it's wise, and it's marvelous. Next is Atticus Finch from To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. Now, Atticus is not the protagonist of this book. They were his kids, Scout Finch and one more Finch. I couldn't recall the name. Well, I am so intrigued by Atticus' character because he is an advocate and he's white, and he stood against racism. He stood for right thing, and he is like the exemplar of what good persons are. So yeah, he inspired me, and those two kids, Scout Finch and her brother, they were motherless, and he was this father who is calm and still tell all the right thing to his children. He never lose his temper. He never goes beyond doing anything which is not normal or common for a father to do. And yeah, I mean, he's the most ideal fatherly figure. Next is Liesel Meminger from The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. She is an ingenious kid, and turn of events, that war and residing of a Jew in her house and her best friend going to war, and everything just revamped her. Like, she got changed. Her childhood got missed somewhere in that chaos, and that was unfortunate. But I like how authors have this brilliant capacity, or you can brilliant art of narrating the book from a child's perspective, because that is so naive. And children have this thing, they don't observe things as like, this is right, this is wrong, this is negative, this is positive, could be done, this could not be done. They are not like adults, they are children. They have so clear brain and even pure heart, and their perspective about world, about things, about people, about life, it's so amazing. It really amazes me every single time. Authors, seriously, they are observant, and they have this art of picking out things which we neglect otherwise. Like, we are seeing there's war, there's destruction, there's loss of lives, and what lost in the process of that all thing. Like, the children is alive, but they lost their childhood. Nothing matters when you lose yourself from here. Like, oh, I couldn't express it. I love Lisa Menninger. Last is two characters, but I will include that in one. Hassan and Amir from The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini. Now, this book, if you have read it, you know why I'm giving that expression. And if you haven't read it, please go and read it. Please. Please. I'm seriously saying please. Go and read them. Hassan and Amir, the bond of friendship, the childhood, and everything. And a single incident where a child's innocence, his ignorance, and his decisions for something, this all changed life of both the friends. Like, totally. Turn it. End it. Like, there's no turning back. There's no going back. And then the other half of book where there's guilt, there's regret, and there's this thing to find the redemption, to do the right thing, to we can't just undo something we have done. We can't relive the moments. We can't make things correct in the past. But we always try to just, make some amendments in those things to make them right in present. They have been wrong in past, but we try to just do some cut here and there and just present ourselves next time for a bigger thing and fade that thing. We try to brighten the present so much that we want to fade that past. And Amir did that when he grew up and as an adult, because he couldn't just forget this single incident from his childhood. And there was this disturbance in his heart, and he went on in search of peace and redemption, and his regret was eating him from inside. So that there is a bond of friendship between them two, and there is that servant and master thing. And children don't understand that. They don't understand caste, they don't understand color, they don't understand who is master, who is servant. They don't understand anything, seriously. We teach them. Our culture teaches that. We make them believe what you have to do this, you don't have to do this. Let them choose. It's not like we are letting them choose, just go and have a cigarette and drink a beer and everything and then choose if you want to do. No. Yeah, there we can tell that this is wrong, this is right. But how can we tell how to judge people? How can we tell whom to talk, whom to not? How can we tell who is right, who is wrong, just to by what they are? Not by who they are, but what they are. It's all about what, not who anymore, I think. So yeah, that's it, guys. And I have many more characters, obviously, but I try to make these videos in top 10 category. And I know I told you guys to give a sneak peek of my library, but that asks for a lot of effort and lot of time, which I am short of currently. And I will show. And yeah, just subscribe my channel because I need your support. And I will try to be consistent, and I am consistent so far. So yeah. Till then, keep reading, be happy, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Bye.